And another one, I feel like a silly rabbit doing these videos sometimes because, like, I'll get these downloads, like, from source, from God, from the universe, like, hey, do a video about this. And it's like pulling things from my past. Like, it's like, imagine you had a card of like index card box, and you're just pulling stuff out, like, oh, there was this memory, oh, I almost forgot about that one, oh yeah, there was this one. And some of them are so deeply personal. And so that card has been pulled out, and I was like, ugh, I really don't want to talk about this. But the what I get back after I get that download is basically God telling me, like, you had this experience, you overcame it, it can help somebody else. So why are you not sharing it? I mean, what am I going to say to that? Like, what would you say? Maybe I'm just not witty enough to come back with a quick answer. So here it goes. I was about 23, 24 years old, and I was living with my boyfriend at the time, and it was like dinner time, like evening, like 5:36, maybe 7 o'clock at night. And we had a disagreement over, and I couldn't even tell you what it was about, probably something really petty. But I I remember him like trying to, like, I just felt like he was trying to dominate me in the sense of, with his words at first, and then like physically it just kept escalating. And I was like, no. I fought back, and with my words. And then when it started to get physical, I fought back physically. And then somewhere like in between all of this happening, because it escalates quickly. And I just realized, like, what am I doing? Like, what is happening? So I called the police. And by the time they got there, well, obviously that escalated things a lot more because things were already physical. And then it was like, you called the police, so he was very unhappy about that. And I remember just like when they got there, they broke it up. They broke up the fight. And then they were like, okay, what happened? And there were two cops. One was talking to me, one was talking to him. And then they handcuffed us both and set us in separate patrol cars. And I remember thinking, like, oh, I'll surely, be uncuffed soon and be able to go home or go back upstairs. And it turned out that both of us stayed in the patrol car, and both of us went to jail that night. And I remember, like, at the time being totally like, I wasn't in the wrong. But it's not about what the situation was, it's about what it looks like when they get there. And that's what I didn't take into account at the time. And it's crazy because I spent 24 hours in the Franklin County Jail in Columbus, Ohio. And I remember being in a cell with these other women. And they were all different women. Like, everybody came from a different walk of life. Like, there were white women that, I don't know, were in for something. And then I was in there for domestic violence, which totally blew my mind because I was just defending myself. But that's the charge. Okay. That's what it sounds so much more escalated when you say domestic violence. But that was my experience in the process of getting arrested. So I'm in this cell with probably about 8 or 10 different women. And I remember there was this one woman that was strong, like strong-willed. You could feel her strength. And rightfully so. Like, she complained about everything. She complained about the bologna sandwiches that we got. She was like, this is bullshit and blah, blah, blah. And because she was so vocal all the time, she was, telling the guards, like, would you want to eat this? And basically, they don't care. And what I determined from this exchange with this woman, strong-willed woman, and the guards, and she just, the whole 24 hours, she was just in there like MFing everybody, and you can't treat us like this. Like, we do have rights. Just because we're in here doesn't mean we're not human beings. And she was absolutely right. We got treated like we had no rights. And they told us that. Like, when you're in jail, not prison, but jail, like, you have no rights. And I remember there being something so wrong with that. And because of that experience, I mean, I got out after 24 hours. I got out the next day. I think it was daylight, like morning, when I got out, and I just remember feeling the sunshine on my face and just being like, I'll never take my freedom for granted. And but what really, the message that I'm sending here is that when I hear prisoners or anybody say anything about a prison, their experience, and how awful it was, I believe them. Because when you're in that type of situation, you don't have any rights, and they treat you as such. They don't care what happens to you. If you die on their watch, they don't care. And so I guess I'm sharing this message because, do I look like I've been to jail? What does that even look like? And maybe this resonates with someone who's been to prison, or I guess I feel like I'm starting to see my mission come in, as I've had so many different experiences over my life. And I'm realizing that in my 44 years on the planet, I've had so many different experiences, and sometimes you get yourself caught up in situations that you never thought you'd be in. And that's not always your fault. You just have to try to get out of it. And believe people when they say certain things, when you hear certain things and you've experienced it yourself, believe people. We have to advocate for each other, because ultimately, you are my brothers and sisters. Like, if I'm not advocating for you and you're not advocating for me, then what's the point? You don't have to be just family or friends. Like, we can advocate for each other and make the world a better place. As cliche as that sounds, it starts with each one of us. And I just wanted to share that with you, because I'm always trying to figure out how to structure, when I get these downloads from Source, from God, like, how am I going to share this without sounding like a victim? Because I'm trying to break that mentality of, like, I'm not a victim. I've experienced this. These are the facts. This is what I learned from it. And this is what I won't do again. Like, I have no desire to ever experience that again. Any of it. But since I wanted to share with you.